So who are some of the winners and the losers under Trump's new law? Winning, well, most U.S. taxpayers.
I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts.
For 2 years, reverse Trump has been the short answer to most questions about the rationale for Democratic public policy.
Do you not see a connection between the surge at the border and the policy changes that Joe Biden has made in his first 2 months?
Chris, I do not.
Do nothing has been the Biden migration policy since the president named Vice President Kamala Harris as border czar, which even then was recognized as certain proof that nothing serious was intended.
Expectations were created that with the government of President Biden, there would be a better treatment of migrants. And this has caused Central American migrants, and also from our country, wanting to cross the border thinking that it is easier to do so.
So here we are, with a super surge about to commence as Title 42's deportation authority ends. And right on cue, who's making the most noise? The progressive mayors of sanctuary cities like New York, Washington, D.C., and Chicago.
I'm hesitant to call it a crisis, because crisis suggests that somehow we've done something wrong.
But look more closely, and you'll notice that one word stands out repeatedly in their complaints about the migrant surge.
We do need more resources from the federal government.
Resources is a euphemism that means just one thing: money.
We expect to spend at least $1 billion by the end of the fiscal year on this crisis.
Confronted with a new problem, these blue city mayors want Joe Biden to do what Washington has done the past 50 years. Send them money to fix problems of their own making, which virtually all their own policies have failed to solve.
The time for aid to New York is now.
What were once local spending categories, such as public housing, schools, transportation, infrastructure, and not least public worker pensions, today vastly exceed these cities' shrinking tax bases. And so resources are needed, which the Biden administration has spent 2 years providing through multi-trillion-dollar spending bills.
We do need to raise the debt ceiling to avoid economic calamity.
The bill is passed.
Recognizing that spending restraint is needed, Republicans just passed a debt ceiling bill which includes the provision that Mr. Biden agree to slow the rate of growth in federal spending. Not stop, slow.
The disagreements are wide. And anyone who says my way or no way, and we're going to default, is not serving the country well.
So far, progressive mayors have gotten nothing from Mr. Biden to help with the migrant flow. And they never will, for 2 reasons. Any transfer of resources for these migrants will be seen as a tacit admission that reverse Trump was a mistake. But perhaps more relevant to these cities' other multiple problems, it would require something that progressive Democrats just don't do: change course.
You can't sit back and hold the country hostage. You can't be so extreme in your views that you're not going to negotiate.
Just as San Francisco effectively collapses as retailers like Nordstrom flee its unmitigated crime and disorder, the Biden administration opened all the border hydrants and let millions pour into the United States mainland.
There's no plan B. Our plan is for Congress to act to address the debt limit without conditions, just like they've done 78 times.
Here, the political equivalence between progressive fecklessness at the local and national level may end.
One of the great misperceptions about the Biden record is that somehow he inherited a struggling economy. We were growing at 6.5%, and all those massive stimulus bills did was engender an inflation that we haven't seen in 40 years.
The Democratic Party derived enough solace from the midterm election results to rally around a Biden candidacy. But if an economic downturn follows the Biden border botch and public approval for the president flirts with 30%, a primary challenge more serious than RFK Jr. could appear. Even New Yorkers and Chicagoans could be on board for reverse Biden.
It's going to be chaotic for a while.